Week 13, Labor Day weekend, the flagship weekend of this lovely league, the CFL. Leo's Legion, the Lions, a much needed win. And I am so glad to be back off the one-game injured list. So I'm back, but are the Lions? Was that win enough to convince you that they're back on track? Let's toss that around with the bros now. Good day, Leo's Legion, three down brothers, Greg, Arthur, and Roland, and I am so happy to be back with my two brethren here. I'm back, like I said, but are the Lions back? Did they do enough in Montreal to tell you all and convince you all they're back on track? Last game, as Arthur so eloquently said, was soul-sucking. Did this put some step and energy back into their soul, your soul? What do you think, Arthur?
I think they're struggling. They were struggling, obviously, losers of 3 in the last 4 games. And I think they were just trying to get to this bye week. They needed a reset. They needed a recharge. They had adversity at the game. They overcame a deficit. And they had to step up, and they did. The offense played much better. And the defense had to make 2 big stops. Especially that first interception, key interception. They had to step it up, and they did. Roland, what do you think?
Yeah, definitely a much-needed win. It would have been really bad if they lost this one and going into the bye week, and that would be a really bad trend. So it was a must-win game, and they did win. So wonderful. I thought that a lot of improvement from the last 2 games. Still some weak spots. The running game is not where I would like it to be, and the run defense also is not where I'd like it to be. But lots of improvement elsewhere. So I was really happy to see that game.
Well, it's funny you should mention the run game not being where you'd like it to be. In that Let's Talk Lions forum on Facebook with all those incredible fans, a lot of people were voicing their concerns about Smoke has had it. He's had his time to prove it. He's not what we need. Get a bruising back in there, a bigger back to inflict some punishment. Or, some people were even saying bring Shivers back. But I'm not sure it's on the player himself. What do you guys think?
I think the interior of that offensive line has to be better at their run block and in creating holes. I think they're getting eaten up, and I think they're getting a bit eaten up on pass protection as well. But I'm just specifically about the rush. There's something not right, and I don't think it's on Smoke entirely. That's for sure.
Yeah, I don't think it's 100% on Mizell. I think it's a combination of both the O-line not getting the holes for him to get through. Because if the holes are opened up, he should be able to get 4 or 5 yards consistently, and he's not getting 4 or 5 yards consistently. So I think the first 4 or 5 yards is on the O-line, and then anything on top of the 4 or 5 yards is on the running back. So I would love to see a huge running back like AJ Willett. He had a monster game this week. But we don't have that, and maybe that's a decision by the team in terms of how they wanted to build the team. But yeah, I would love to see a punishing back as well.
Well, we do have a bigger back sitting on the practice roster who makes it on to keep ratios what they are when other players hit that one-game injured list. But I don't know, we can keep that for another discussion. But we do have a bigger back in LaFrance who is Canadian. He's a bigger, heavier running back. Mm-hmm. And when you say, the first 4 or 5 yards are on that O-line, and that just takes me back to that run Oliveira had against Saskatchewan. I mean, he was hit for a 2-yard loss, and I do believe he single-handedly made that a first down on his own. And that was just that was nice to see.
It was.
Not as I'm not a fan of his because of that colors he wears, but as a football fan who if you like the running game, that was a blood and guts run right there. That was worth the price of the ticket to see that run.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're going into this bye week, and maybe it is good that they're at least back on track, but I'm hoping to a man each and every player is getting that rest mentally and physically and even spiritually that they need, but at the same time have that thought in the back of the head, okay, now we got to keep getting better, got to get better, got to be better, got to be better. What can I do? What can I do?
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
Yeah, they've got to. Like, if you look at all the other teams, so many other teams are improving a lot. Right? Like Saskatchewan's improved a lot. Edmonton's improved a lot. Even Calgary's been improving. Hamilton, like all these other teams that we thought were, kind of just blah the first half of the season, they're all improving. So we need to step up our game. We've kind of been going down because we started strong. So we need to kind of get back to where we were.
Well, that makes Arthur just look like an absolute soothsayer, prophet, or I don't know what you want to call it. Like, I mean, dare I even say a prognosticator? But long season, get hot at the right time. With all those teams that were 1 win, 2 win, 3 win, they start rattling off wins, and if we even just drop off now, I don't know, but we could be in danger of being on the road for the playoffs. I don't know if we'll miss the playoffs, but it's the CFL and stranger things have happened, right?
Well, you're looking at the defenses stepping up for the West teams in particular, right? Saskatchewan, Edmonton, and Calgary. Their quarterbacks are getting more confidence, right? So you have Dolagala, you have Trey Ford, and even Mayer had a good game today.
Yeah.
So these quarterbacks are starting to get a little confidence. Their defense is stepping up. Now I'm just wondering if that BC defense is that much better than the defenses in the West right now. And we can get into that in a bit later. And I'm just concerned about the secondary, a little concerned about the secondary. And I mean the pass rush stepped up today, or this week. So that was good to see. They just needed, I like to see their run defense be better.
Yeah.
And I think a big concern coming off this win was the run defense.
Yeah.
And that big
62 yards.
Yeah, I mean, and then Cody Fajero got a lot of yards on his feet when he broke contain. He got upfield. So it wasn't just stand back.
Yeah. Actually, that's probably a good segue to look at some stats for this game. Total net offense for BC was 427 yards. Total net offense for Montreal was 517. So quite a bit more, like 90 yards more net offense. And then the breakdown in passing versus rushing. Passing, we had 306, which is not bad, but they had 337, so a little bit more. Then rushing, we had 122, and they had 196. So thoughts, what are your thoughts, guys? Given that their net offense was a lot more than ours, yet we still win by 9 points. What happened there?
What do you think, Arthur? Was it the bend, don't break? And I mean, they really bent. I mean, Saskatchewan. Sorry. My thoughts are still stuck there. Montreal maybe ran up and down between the 15s, like back and forth between the red zones, and just couldn't punch it in. Yeah. And so our defense stiffened right at the right time. Couple takeaways right at crucial moments.
Well,
I think maybe that's it. Montreal. And when you read the pundits, maybe Montreal just still has that lack of finish, kind of all combination.
So red zone. We were 3 for 3 in the red zone. They were 0 for 3 in the red zone. So I think that's a big factor. Yeah, you're right.
So I mean, is it scheme? I want to go back to that. I wanted to touch on this. I think one of the complaints Arthur and I had watching that game was the tackling again. It's you're not going to bring down a thick back or a bigger quarterback with an arm. especially when we're kind of going the wrong direction. And I don't know if they juke us out of it or they got this great move, but next thing you know, like our defender's going left, the runner's going right, and we just stick out an arm and they just run right by. Or we're just trying to nudge them with our shoulder. I just saw a lot of, dare I say, half-ass attempts at tackles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, a lot of that yards after contact. Well, yeah, I'm going to slam into the receiver with my shoulder. Well, if you hit him above the waist, likely he's not going down if he's in stride. And then next thing you know, more yardage. What do you guys think?
Yeah. The other thing that jumps out on the stat sheet is penalties. We had 7 penalties for 45 yards. They had 5 penalties for 60 yards. So they took more yards than penalties, but we had more penalties. 7 for 45.
Well, that's a lot better than the other 2 games in this game, I think, right? I mean, we cleaned that up a little. I mean, let's see. Well, I think I remember there was at least a illegal contact on a receiver, I think I remember. And there was a couple offsides that I remember at the wrong time. And I know there was a roughing the passer call in there too. All at the wrong time.
Yeah.
I mean, is there a good time for penalties? You know, like, when they say in hockey, well, that was a good penalty to take. Well, here, 2nd and long, you rough the passer. Probably not a good time to take one. You can't get off the field. First down, maybe you can get away with it and cover it up. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, I mean, just getting back to some of your original thoughts, when you lose the giveaway, takeaway battle, you lose the game, right? So the Lions had 2 key interceptions late in the game, especially after that fake punt, and they're on the BC, and they're on like the BC 20-yard line, 22-yard line.
Yep.
Next play, Cody goes for gusto, and he throws into double coverage into a zone 2, and Emoji comes and makes the interception, right?
Yeah.
At that time, I believe it was a 2-point game.
Yeah.
Right? So, there's still lots of time on the clock, right? I think it was like 5-6 minutes left, Greg, I believe.
Yeah.
And then BC came back and they scored that touchdown. So it made it a 9-point game.
Yeah.
And then Cody had a chance again if there was an interception. But I mean, it was that right after a big play.
Exactly, yeah.
Like the Lions are like, we've lost 3 out of 4. We got schooled on this fake punt. Now it's sitting on, in our red zone.
Yep.
And we have to take the ball away because we're only leading by 2. I mean, and really Montreal should be up on this game. They had a missed field goal. They went for 2-point converts twice, and they missed both of them.
That's right.
So Montreal's like, okay, hey, let's, and then mind you, there should have been a fumble on Cody Fitzgerald. the play before, but I mean, don't get me started. I mean, it's just like I thought the Lions were battling adversity, like from the refs, and then from this game and from like the last 4 or 5 weeks. So for them to get that interception in the end zone, massive.
Yeah, that was
play.
key. That was
huge. Because even if they gave up a field goal, that changes, the way I think our offense comes out on that next series.
Yeah.
And I think it also gives the defense, a little bit of a foothold on some confidence back. I mean, you and I were screaming, watch the fake, and you see all the special teams guys looking and pointing over to one side of the field, and where'd that fake go? Right the other side where they weren't looking or paying any attention to it. I mean, I know I had some words come out of my mouth that were probably should have come back. I don't know what Arthur thought or said, but yeah, we were not happy at that point in the game. It's like, how do you guys give up that? And for that amount of yards too, like holy cow! But yeah, that interception was key, and but again, all that yardage, I think it's lack of finish that helped us out a little bit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, they just didn't. They couldn't convert. I mean, they had chances in the red zone earlier, and they had to kick field goals. I mean, that's just the name of the game in football, right? Defense, they'll give you the middle of the field, but once you get into the red zone, they're gonna tighten up, and it's much harder to score. because they don't have this much field to cover, right? They don't have to cover deep. Well, I mean, if you're in the red zone, they're not going to cover deep, right?
Yeah.
So it changes, and it's just tougher, and it's not easy. But yeah, the Lions stepped up. They had a lot, and that's why I liked. They had that adversity, and in stats is one thing, right? But the key stats are it's always been turnovers, it's always been red zone efficiency. And you just have to avoid the big screw up plays.
Yeah.
All right. And those turnovers, I mean, that was no more evident than in that Saskatchewan game. The fumbles, we lost that battle. And we still almost came back to win, but again, the turnover law proved.
So let's jump in and take a look at some plays. So our first offensive drive sputtered out, 2 and out. And then Montreal's first drive ended up in a field goal. So that was good. They weren't able to score a major. And then we get to our second drive. So I'm going to look at just a few plays on our second drive here. So this first one here, Adams scrambles out. And he gets, that was the first and 15. And I think he gets 10 yards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was good that he was scrambling. And actually, this drive, he scrambled for half the yards on this drive. He scrambled for a total of, I think, 35 yards on this drive.
And if I could just throw that in, I would like to have seen more of that in those 2 losses that were prior to this game. And I don't know if there was something was up with his knee or what, or the game plan, but it was just nice to see him scramble this game. Just refreshing.
He had the knee brace, and he was fresh off a kind of a knee injury, right? So you just don't know how quick he was, but he's definitely much quicker now in this game.
Yeah, that's right. So then, a couple plays later, we were 3rd and 5, and we gamble on a 3rd and 5 early in the game, and this is the result here. So 3rd and 5. Pass to McInnes, and he makes the first down. So I don't know about you guys, but I thought this was pretty key. Just because if this sputtered out again, if this was another 2 and out, that'd be 2 and out, two and outs right after, one after the other at the beginning of the game. That might have set the tone for the whole game, right? But the fact that we gambled on this 3rd and 5, and we got the first down, kept this drive alive, and we ended up scoring a touchdown. So I thought that was pretty key.
Can you imagine if we go, like you said, Roland, 2 and out, and Montreal was moving the ball the way they did on that first series? That could have been a touchdown easily for them. And then that would have changed the whole complexion. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So I like this call. It was aggressive. Remember near the beginning of the season, we were talking about maybe our play calls weren't aggressive. So this showed that it was a little aggressive. So that's good.
So I'm looking, I think they're on the 44-yard line, Montreal. They're going to punt. You're going to try to pin them in within the 10-yard line, depending if you can do an angled punt out of bounds.
Yeah.
So, you're really just giving up, say, 30, 35 yards there. A 3rd and 5, I mean, that's not a gimme,
it's
right?
It's not, yeah. Nope. It's not.
Maybe the 3rd and 5 percentage is better than the 3rd and 1 lately.
That reserved for another show. Fan, if you heard that one, please chime in. We appreciate any comments on that.
You know what I thought when I saw him line up on this 3rd and 5? Remember, I think it was the previous game where he punted.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh. I was thinking, oh no, is he going to punt again, right? But I was hoping that if he punts, they won't be too far. But then there was no one onside. So then I thought, okay, he's not going to punt.
But you look at, why did that Montreal DB give McInnes so much room? I mean, when McInnes made that catch, he was still a few yards short, and he was still able to get out there.
Well, no, you see, there was a gentle pick.
No, I guess they were in a deep zone.
Hollins was coming in.
Dropped way off.
But Hollins was coming in. Look at it. No.
Yeah.
Look.
Yeah.
He's going into the flat. Adams is throwing to the flat.
Yeah, Hollins was going this way, and McInnes is going that way. So that pulled the 2 DBs in opposite directions, right?
Yeah, and I guess that corner was supposed to take the deep man. Okay.
Yeah. So
I'm just glad McInnes caught that and secured it.
Yeah, good call. McInnes was a monster in this game too in terms of yak yards.
Yes.
In the stat sheets, he had 35 yak yards, the most of any of our receivers in this game. So then, continuing on with this drive, later on, Adams scrambles again for 8 yards. Just straight up the middle.
I love the decisiveness of his scrambles. And he just went. He didn't think pump. He decided I'm running, and he went.
Yeah. How about this head first here to get the first down? What are your thoughts? Should he have slid? Would he have gotten the first down if he had slid?
If they had a good 3rd and 1 offense, and then I would think you should have slid.
Yeah.
But most likely, the way it's going and the way it has gone, he's the one who'd be doing the 3rd and 1 sneak.
Yeah.
So you might as well. I mean, if you're going to do it, if you're going to be going in there on 3rd and 1, you might as well lower your head and get it now.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, and if I could add what Arthur said, he's got that knee brace on coming off. He looks quicker. You slide, if he slides feet first, chance of catching his heel, something catching or a guy coming in, hitting him on that knee, his head going first. Yeah, you risk getting napped in the head, but I think it's a lot less. I think that's kind of protecting the knee too, and making sure he gets that first down.
Yeah.
Blood and guts leader.
Yeah,
I'd rather his head than his knee.
All right, and then same drive, maybe a couple of plays later, he rushes again. So this one's for 17 yards. So lots of space.
And the knee looks pretty good on that rush.
He had a good move
Couple
there.
of jab steps on that knee. Oh, nice run.
Yeah, so 17 yards. So, nothing like having the quarterback run to kind of really get him pumped up and into the game, right? And I think that was what was needed. So that sets up to the scoring, to the score here. A pass to Hollins on the left side here. Yeah, he was wide open. So, yeah, beautiful. So we score. Now it's 7-3. So, yeah, I wanted to show that. Then the next set of plays I wanted to show was just some positive plays on the offense. So, Hollins had a monster game too. This next one here is a 62-yard touchdown to Hollins. And I'll come back to that. So quite a few things in this play. So I think, Greg, you mentioned when we spoke the other day, this went right through the defender's hands. And Hollins was able to concentrate and still catch the ball with the defender right there, right? So
yeah. It's like he didn't even, it's just like to him, the defender didn't even exist. That ball's coming, I'm going to catch the ball regardless. And I mean, if I'm that Montreal defender, I'm feeling pretty lousy right about now.
Yeah. Then the other thing with this play was look at Adams. Okay, no, that was the celebration. No. So look at Adams. I want to show you. Let me just back up there. When Adams throws this, he's actually jumping in the air while he throws this. So he's scrambling. So he's scrambling out of the pocket. And then, number 19 or whatever, 39, 49 is coming up, and he jumps up into the air and
he's
throws.
right, no planted feet at all.
No, he was up in the air when he throws. So that distance from the 40-yard line to, I don't know how many yards that is, like 50 yards maybe. It's all in his arm strength.
Yep.
Right? Because...
And he's getting hit.
Yeah. So he takes the hit there, and that ball is just all arm strength because he was not planted down at all. He was up in the air. So beautiful
that's about 50 Roland, because he caught it and then ran about another 12, 13 yards. That's about a good 50-yard throw from airborne.
Yeah. All right. So beautiful play. Next one here is the touchdown by Hatcher, 17 yards. Yeah.
I remember saying to Arthur, VA had to get it up over those guys in front, but drop it down. But man, had that been the last two games, that's through Hatcher's hands and perhaps into that defender waiting behind him. But Arthur said it very well. The receivers made the plays for VA today.
Yeah.
Or this week.
Yeah. I mean, look how he was stretching there. You can't stretch anymore. That's 100%, extended, right?
And he went up at the right time.
Yeah. I'm glad that there's no one close to him to have hit him, though, because he was completely vulnerable at this point. Here's same play, different angle. Yeah. Beautiful.
That was very nice.
All right. Nice. And then I wanted to show you this series of plays, another scoring drive, but this one was Mizell for 4 carries, and so this was in the fourth quarter, and so a 10-yard run there. So that's not something that we see a lot, right? And then not run after the other as well. And I would assume, I don't know what you guys think, I would assume that Calgary would know that we're probably going to be running the ball too, right? Because with 2.5 minutes left, we want to take time off. And so we'll probably be running it. So if they knew we were running and we're still able to get these running plays, so here's the next one. This one is for 8 yards. So again, we talked earlier about holes, right? And both this play and their previous play, the O-line was able to get some holes, for him to get through. So he wasn't touched until he got here. So that's like 4 yards past the line of scrimmage, right?
Well, I would say Montreal would be thinking BC is going to do high percentage passes.
Okay. You think they're not?
Because BC hasn't really hasn't committed to the run all game.
That's
or
right.
Hasn't been really successful consistently.
Yeah.
So BC can do the dink and dunk, little short passes, high percentage, keep the clock running. So they're probably looking like, it might be some just passes out to the flat, things like that. And maybe they're thinking Mizell is just going to go to the flat and be a check down.
Yeah.
So, of course, this play you have right there, they were trying to. It looks like a run stopping. A run stopping blitz or a blitz stopping run formation.
Yeah.
But you got to give credit to Mizell. He was able to take on the middle linebacker,
exactly,
and then go off to his side and get some more yards after contact.
Yeah,
and getting another 3-4 yards, because then where is he being met? He's being met at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, that's right.
And then he was able to finish up at the 12, right, or 11.
Yeah, and I think
so that's pretty big.
Yeah, who's this? Is this our center?
Yeah, that was Couture up there with him. It was nice.
That's our center. So good on him to pick that up, kick that out, and so Mizell just had to worry about the middle linebacker.
And he got down to
that was
at the 12-yard line.
Yeah, 12,
yeah, there's an 8-yard rush according to the stat sheet. So
but look where all the old linemen are. They're either upfield with a block or they've pushed their other blocks past the runner. That was nice to see.
Yeah.
That was really nice to see.
Yeah. I think they feel good. The secondary got an interception in the end zone, and then they're marching downfield, and then they got energy, they got confidence, and then they executed. So this is getting back to where the Lions were earlier this season.
Yeah.
Being confident and having that energy to because then I think it was a little scary because they think, we could. They should be down at this point. Montreal should have at least kicked a field goal or got a touchdown. and the defense was able to step up and take it away. So I think they got a big new lease on life because hey, let's just go and take this and let's win.
Yeah.
They know they get a touchdown with the time left on the clock. They're going to win this game.
Yeah.
And that's what I liked about it is that adversity, and then they say, "Hey, we're gonna dictate on this drive," and I think that's what they did.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So next play, we needed 2 yards, and we get 3 yards on the ground again with Mizell.
Wow.
And then
number 9, he had him. He had him at the line of scrimmage.
Okay, let's take a look at that. Number 9.
Sewell.
Yeah, he just cut in on him.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But yeah, we just needed 2. He got 3. So a fresh set of downs. And then it's first and goal, and then we give the ball to Mizell again, but this time it's outside.
Big block by McInnes. Big block, and that was key. I remember we were jumping up and down cheering on that one. Arthur McInnes destroyed his guy. I mean,
he's definitely redeemed himself because I think it was in a couple of games, or at least one missed block. I think it was on a 3rd and 1. Convert. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or the convert. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one, that was a great block.
And he stayed with him too.
Yeah.
And pretty much, I think Vernon was raising his hands once he got around the end and saw that block. It was pretty much done.
Yeah. And this is Sean Lemon, right?
Yep. So and he had the angle on Lemon already. That was great.
So I think the announcers are saying that it's kind of do or die, right? So if Sean Lemon had 2 choices, he can either go for Adams or go for the running back. But Adams is looking at him. If he goes towards Adams, the ball goes to Mizell. If he goes towards Mizell, Adams keeps the ball. So yeah, no choice there, right?
But I think that jab step fake kind of froze Lemon for a split second as well. Kind of made him double think his choice too.
Yeah. Adams froze him because he did a move there, right? He got the ball, he moved the ball left, and that froze Lemon, and then he pitches it out.
Yep, that was a beautiful fake.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, those just some of the offense positives. I have some plays now for the defense positives. So here. Okay, no, that's a replay. Okay, this one here. So he was under pressure, and he had to throw the ball away. Unfortunately, we were called offside for this, and I looked at the. None of our players are offside. The only possibility I could think of is that this hand here is within the 1 yard neutral zone.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that's. The ball snapped. None of our players moved.
Well, I think if anything, the O-line moved first. But yeah, it was.
So the only thing is, maybe this hand just barely in the.
Yeah, that has to be it.
So. But yeah, anyway.
Well, because that hand, and then is this Betts on the end here?
Yeah, Betts is. This is Betts here. Yeah.
Yeah. So those 2 hands look about this. Oh no. Yeah, they look about the same. But the guy at the top, I think, is Woody Barron with the white shoes. He's back a little bit further than those hands. So maybe.
Yeah. This hand is the furthest one.
Yeah, that hand. It has to be that hand. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Close. Even close.
I know it's really close. But they called it. But they don't normally call that. This is one of the few times I've seen them call that. So, but regardless, four people rushing, we get pressure on him, and we actually chase him. So I thought that was a good play regardless.
But why did that flag come so late? I mean, if it was a hand that was lined up offside, why you wait for the play to develop and then throw the flag? I mean, if it was offside, if you're lining up offside, that flag should be there at the snap of the ball.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then make it 2nd and 8. You know, like blow the play dead. It's like, you look at the rush happens, the blocks engage, Cody rolls out, then the flag.
Yeah. Well, we see the flag. I don't know. Maybe it took a while for the
Or maybe it
flag
was
to
out
come
and it
up.
only came on the screen late.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. Another play. This one is in the third quarter. Here, let me just play it first then. So he had no choice but to get rid of the ball there. Otherwise, it would have been a safety. But
There's that old adage, a hurry is as good as a sack. What do you think, Arthur?
Yeah, I mean, according to the TSN stats guy, BC had 17 hurries and 16 hits on Mr. Fajero.
wow.
So 7, and then of course with the 5 sacks, right?
So I know earlier on in the development of the 3 down bros, I'm sure one of the bros, I'm not going to say who, would have been happy with those 16 hits on number 7.
We can talk about that later. And I have a little thing to say later.
Well, I you know, when Arthur gave me those stats, like 17 hurries, can you imagine if we had hurried those 2 third-string quarterbacks from those 2 other ugly losses? Those would have been totally different games. Like, they maybe not accept, but the hurries makes, because I mean, Cody's a more seasoned guy, and I was talking to some guy in that forum, and you know, the hurries on a better quarterback like this would have gone so much further in those other 2 games. I mean, hindsight being what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they had more energy. Like, definitely. I mean, the team side of that didn't have the energy against Hamilton. They definitely had the energy this game. And the D-line had the energy all game. So I think they took it personally.
Yeah.
They had an okay game against Hamilton from a pass rush perspective, but they got torched on the ground.
Yeah.
I mean, of course, this game is not great either. But I mean, Butler just won Hamilton the game last week. So
yeah. All right.
But as a good pressure, for sure.
Yeah. So next play, this is a Peters knockdown. Yeah. So the ball's coming. He gets his hands out there and knocks it down.
Yeah, that's pretty key.
Yeah, that was key.
I held my breath on that one though. I was like, is it a flag? I mean, there was nothing there that I would have that should have been that warranted a flag. Sorry, but just the way things are going, I was like,
yeah. Okay. Next one here is Mojer interception in the end zone. So
22-yard line after the fake punt.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. This was beautiful because it's a momentum killer, like you said, Arthur.
So 5:35 on the clock.
Yeah.
Didn't need to just put it up there though. Like we'll get into it later. I just understand. You don't need to force it. I know he's a playmaker. He's been making plays all year long.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess, well, it looks like TJ Lee's coming in, about to hit him, so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the timing of the interception was just key, right? Momentum killer, and we get the ball back. They don't score at all, right? They could have, scored at least a field goal, but they got nothing out of it.
was that to maybe go for the jugular right after the momentum? Yeah, I mean, they swung the momentum with the fake punt. Let's go for the quick kill.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. I mean, you're throwing into a cover 2 and you're doing back shoulder.
Yeah.
Into a cover 2, Greg. It's, like you gotta hunt for the sideline, but you go back shoulder in a cover 2. I don't know.
Yeah, Moje's positioning on the ball was great. His timing, his jump was timed perfectly.
Yeah.
But that could have, I was reading an article by the Montreal Reporter. There were so many inches that could have gone the other way that could have changed the game for Montreal.
Sure.
I mean, if Moje mistimes that jump, then we would have been screaming for a push-off because he kind of grabbed, was that Rugamba there? He kind of pushed Rugamba out of the way to get to that ball. Mac did.
Yeah, that's right.
Right there. Is that not a receiver push-off?
It is. They were going to call that, I guess.
Yeah, but that's the way you want to see your safety play. And Moje's been, I mean, give him this is really his first full year of safety, and he's done adequately. But there's been some times you wonder where he's been, but I don't know if that's part of the scheme or growing, or a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But this was played like a veteran, and it was just
beautiful.
perfect.
Beautiful, yeah.
If I was Montreal, just run the ball. BC hasn't really been able to stop you. You're on the 22-yard line. There's 5 minutes left in the game. I know you want to go for the jugular, but if I was playing BC, I'd run the ball.
Yeah.
So Moje's back in a cover 2, then he's not there to help the run defense, and that's where he usually is. Because you have to bring the way it's going. Look at that. They have 6 offensive linemen there.
Yeah. We rushed 5.
We rushed 5, and then 2 guys came
later,
in.
Yeah.
So the BC was trying to take away the run, but still, I still would have run.
Well, this is first down too, so.
Yeah.
Could Cody have rolled? No, I think the containers. I don't think Cody could have rolled out. He could have.
A kind of play action.
Yeah, he could. Maybe he could have. Well, maybe.
Not backwards.
He just wanted it. He saw Mac beat Rugamba.
Yeah.
Right? So he just probably underthrew it.
Yeah, it was underthrown, yeah.
Could he have hit that guy, that short guy that just a second ago? I mean, the guy would have got hit the minute he caught the ball, but
which short?
Yeah, they could have. He could have.
Right there on the 15. They just gunned it into him. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of hard. There's he didn't have an open lane.
Yeah.
Or the guy out there by the 20.
I would have thrown it. I mean, if it was me, I would throw it to Mac. He's the number 1 receiver in the league in terms of yardage, and he has his man beat.
Yeah.
He just had to throw it where that orange pylon is in the corner.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, if you look at both games that we've played against Montreal, Mac has been relatively quiet. I mean, he made, a couple big plays. He had that big touchdown earlier in this game, but the game they played here, he was relatively quiet. Because I don't know if we did a good job covering him.
He had 143 yards this game.
But again, 143, but not scoring. I mean, one touchdown. And that was an outside the red zone touchdown too, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, he had that one that it hit him in his hand. It would have been a tough catch, but if he had that pass, that would have been another 30 yards. So
in that opening drive, I think they hit him a few times. So
yeah. All right.
But I would have gone for Mac. As a quarterback, he just needed to have a better throw. I think.
It was underthrown yet.
Was it hurried though? Because there's a line.
I think so.
Not really. Not like how the Lions. I think Fajero had enough time. I mean, well, mind you, this is slow mo. Yeah, no, I mean he was more hurried in some other throws.
Yeah, and I think by the time that line's anywhere near him in the slow mo, I think the ball's already. He's in his follow through. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Versus he's getting hit as he's following through. Follow throughing his ball, throwing the ball. Help me out there.
Yeah.
Following through.
As he's throwing.
All right. So next play I have queued up here is another interception, this time by TJ Lee.
Puts him in the top 10 on the franchise, doesn't it, this one?
Does it?
Yeah, and this one, I'm just not sure what was going.
Yeah, this is just a desperation throw. 45 seconds left.
I mean, you're not going to even draw any kind of flag. I mean,
but it's 10 yards ahead of the receiver, so.
There's no need for PI when.
That's when you should have thrown the back shoulder.
but
Not in triple coverage. I think they can adjust.
yeah. So not a good play on Montreal's part, but we'll take the
Triple coverage. Don't
Yeah.
you think? Yeah, they were definitely keying on Mac. That's for sure, huh?
Yeah, or did that guy coming from the left leave it? I mean, that guy going by the goalpost looks kind of open, but again, maybe he's open now because the ball's in the air, right?
Oh yeah, like, they adjusted, right?
yeah.
Because it's way back here and he throws, and then everyone's sprinting back.
Yeah. All right, and then next at a place we got 5 sacks on this game. So like a big woohoo for me in terms of getting our sack attack back. So let's take a look at each one of those sacks. First one here is by Tuhema.
Sione. Whoa.
Yeah.
See, that's the kind of hit you like to see when there's a sack.
Yeah. But he was flushed out here, and then right into the arms of Tuhema. Yeah. So beautiful sack. We were giving a lot of pressure this game. Next one is this one was listed as a Baron sack on the stat sheet, but yeah,
He's the last one to make contact.
I think Federo was on his way down because he got spun around.
yeah.
Is that behind the line? I guess so.
So
He got spun around earlier.
yeah,
I think it was Menard that spun him around.
yeah.
Yeah, Menard got him. That's good.
And then his shirt was being pulled here, so he couldn't advance forward.
No, and then he got kind of, he was going down. He was going down, yeah.
Yeah. So
He could have used those Trey Ford feet after what that run Trey Ford had today.
Trey Ford is
okay.
beauty to watch. I mean, he's not in our team, but I'm wishing him success. Yeah. All right. Next one here is a sack by Helatic. So yeah, similar. Get flushed out and then just run into traffic.
It's nice to see the opposition's O-line looking confused and leaning over their quarterback as he gets up from under a pile of our D-line for a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, these last two replays are Fedora's trying to like make something out of nothing,
Yeah.
So that's, if he stayed in the pocket, I'm not sure if he would have fared any better. He might have lost yards.
Yeah, he can't. Like, it's just overwhelmed. Right? How many guys do we have in here? Like
Let's just say everybody. The front 7.
Yeah, so just completely overwhelmed. So, and they had no one here, so he had no.
He probably saw that. He goes, if I can get out, I got a potential touchdown.
Yeah.
But then they were able to close on him.
Yeah.
That was complimentary. That was a covered sack.
It
Secondary
is. Yeah.
And the D-line pressure, that's what we've been needing for a few games.
That's
Last
right.
3 out of 4 anyway.
Yeah, they had 4 receivers, so looks like man coverage.
Yeah. But he didn't have much time to let the play develop either. So,
Yeah.
So
And Stanback stayed in for protection, right?
Well, I had to.
Yeah.
I think they had, and they have how many O-linemen?
So how do you defend against this? So say we were Montreal and we had like 7 guys coming.
I think there has to be a hot receiver.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like you see 6 on the lower part of the screen. He was
Exactly.
like some kind of signal. But you see they see a blitz coming.
Yeah.
Well,
So
I
I'm
wonder
not
if
sure.
6 was supposed to do that to draw the DB up, because he does it, and then you watch the Lions DB come shooting up the minute 6 because he's going to catch that short bubble screen kind of.
Well,
Yeah.
it looked like a set play, like it was a pump
Yeah.
fake. It's a pump fake, and then that's why he came in, and then he was maybe trying to go deep, and then that was not going to happen.
Yeah.
So does that receiver there who just ran off screen at the bottom, should he maybe cut up into that opening? As the
Someone needed to cut up in the
Yeah.
opening.
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe this is a design play,
Yeah.
a design sneak. this like it's a pump fake to the wide out, and then he's just gonna shoot like a gap and try to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
Well, the linebacker just got there, which was good.
Yeah.
Because at this point, you don't know, you don't know that these two guys are gonna do a delayed blitz, right? So
because usually there's someone doing a dig route that's gonna cut across the middle, but if they didn't, maybe this is by design.
Yeah.
Because then he has no outlet.
Exactly. Yeah. So.
Yeah, because if that tackle's missed, he's going to that left sideline. Actually, I think I see it right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, good sack. Next one is another sack by Mojay.
See, use the arms, make a tackle.
Yeah. So this one, he just came right out of the pocket almost immediately for Jardo, and then he just got chased down.
I love the way Mojay breaks down. He doesn't overcommit. He doesn't torpedo. He's in position, waiting for Cody to come out of his spin, and he's waiting on him.
Yeah, exactly. Because Fajardo tries to do a spin here, but Mojay was ready for it.
And is that Sione coming in to finish that off?
47.
Is that a 47?
47, yeah.
There we go.
Right. And then
It's a good thing Cody went down. That was gonna be some impact there, I think.
Next we have a Tuhema sack. This was beautiful. Because this, they were 2nd and 5. And then that sack, they lost like minus 10 yards.
Out of the red zone.
Yeah, completely out of the red zone.
So all these sacks, like BC 10, BC 15, that's just like...
Yeah, beautiful. And if you look, he just barely got touched here and went straight to the quarterback. And then I have one more. This was another Mojay sack, but it was negated by an offside. So let's play this here.
Okay, that offside I can handle.
So I think who was that? Was that Rugamba or?
I can't.
Yeah, it was basically this guy. This guy jumps before the ball was snapped. Kind of mistimed it. But if it weren't for that, that would be another sack. All right, so those were the sacks that we inflicted. I've got 4 plays I want to show here where we made some mistakes in the offense. So here, let me just play this. So 64-yard pass to Whitehead, but he wasn't able to secure the ball. He was inbounds when he made contact with the ball, but he wasn't able to secure it. Would have loved to see him get that. Here's the replay. See, he does a stutter step here. So he runs stutter step.
Not just bobbled it.
If he
should have had that.
Had he secured that, he landed in bounds.
Yep.
And then he couldn't secure it. So almost.
Come on, luck too fast.
And then
Maybe you should put some gummy bears on those hands. I don't know.
Next one here is a. This one was a time count. So, we've got like 13 seconds left in the time, and we're just breaking out of the huddle. So,
they call an audible or something.
Yeah,
5,
4
4,
seconds.
and he's like calling out some signals.
Yeah.
That was.
So,
Yeah, I remember Arthur and I were talking about that one too.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe this crowd noise. The noise was loud. The crowd was loud. So they couldn't hear each other. Affected timing. So yeah, bad mistake there.
Yeah, not happy with that one.
Yeah.
And NFL wouldn't have been, it would have been okay.
Why would it have been okay?
Because they have their play clock is much longer.
Okay. They got like 40 seconds or something.
Yeah,
45, I think, isn't it?
Yeah.
something like that. But or 40, I think it's 40. But yeah, I mean, they broke the huddle at 14-13, and then he switched something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Because I think that, because you could hear Holland not quite hear him as he was going to the bottom of the field, and he's now got a change, and he wasn't sure, and then,
Yeah.
Then I think Montreal got a field goal off of that, if I'm not mistaken, Arthur?
Yeah, that's right. They kicked a field goal, and then BC had a punt, and Montreal was to get another field goal. 2 field goals in with 90 seconds left in the first half.
Yeah, and
so
that's almost a major, right? And it's like, wow.
Yeah.
I was not happy with this.
And this time count hurts because it's within the 3 minute. So it was
it's just loss of down.
Yeah, loss of down. Yeah. So, and then I have one more. Here's another drop pass, and unfortunately to our man Lucky again. This would have been a touchdown, but yeah, he bobbled it, and it hit the ground.
Well, I was calling for accidental pass interference or whatever that horrific call was that we had against us in the Hamilton game, whatever accidental pass interference was. But I would have liked to have seen that flag here.
I was wondering if he got tripped or did he launch himself, try to catch it?
He launched himself, I think. He launched himself.
The pass was a little off.
Yeah.
But he did get both hands on the ball, right, Greg?
Yes, he did.
He did, but he
might need some of that Haribo.
But
just saying.
He couldn't secure it in time before he hit the ground.
It's a hard catch, but...
Yeah. So that was too bad, because that would have been another...
Was Adams throwing it to a spot?
I think so.
I mean, he was kind of under pressure, and he threw it pretty deep, right?
Oh, yeah, it's a bit of a hurt. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he is on the 39-yard line. He guns it all the way. Yeah, should have had it, I think.
So close.
Sorry, we have to say that about Lucky, but yeah, I should have had that.
Yeah. All right. So that was that. And then...
Montreal 33, so I was in a 39. Yeah, Montreal 39, you threw that. Okay.
Yeah. So, next play is defense mistakes. I have one, but it was a huge one. So... This was a stand back run. And,
Mosier.
And like stand back's a big guy. And our DBs are so small and we couldn't catch up. I mean we even have bets
chasing him down.
You know, who and none of our DBs
I'm surprised,
could catch up.
Yeah. Well, Mosier just missed it, right? And then I think is that Jones trying to catch him?
Yeah,
he's
Jones.
He's the corner from the other side.
Yeah, but still, you know, they're smaller and lighter. They should be able to run faster, right?
I'm surprised. And then, if anything, he didn't close the gap at all.
Yeah,
I'm surprised.
So, yeah, I don't know. You need to run faster. How do you fix that?
I think Mosier needed to be more of a speed bump.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he was out of position.
He engaged him, and look at where the other guys are. He just needed to slow him up a little more.
He just froze for a split second versus the way we were complimenting him a second ago, breaking down Cody, letting Cody make the move.
Yeah.
Here he got frozen. And
he planted, and then Steinbach went to his right. Well, went to Mosier's right.
Mosier's right, and then he does a stiff arm there.
Stiff arm. All right, yeah. And then you got to go lower.
Yes, low man wins.
And Steinbach is full speed at this point, so
yeah. Mind you, that might have been a hold or two earlier.
Takes out his other guy. A hold or two. No team holds. Apparently it's just the Lions that hold.
And definitely not Winnipeg, right?
Oh, Winnipeg doesn't hold according to Craig D.
That's right.
And maybe here this guy shouldn't have dove. Because if he didn't dive, he probably would have been able to catch up, right?
Rugamba?
Yeah.
Oh, you just missed him too.
Because he dove. If he waited a few more strides, he might have caught up with him.
Well, I think he was already going down because he had to get around Mojay. Right?
Yeah.
He has to get around and loses his and he's already going down, and then thought, oh crap, I'm gonna have to make a dive.
So Moji has got to know that there's someone beside him, so he stepped up, forced him to the middle.
But look at this. Betts outruns this DB. Who's that?
TJ Lee.
He outruns TJ Lee. Like,
who do you think Who do you think should be faster?
Definitely TJ Lee.
Yeah, like let's.
Like, you got a defensive end that can outrun one of your DBs. That's kudos on the defensive end.
And look where Rudy Barrett is. He's not much further behind our DB either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I was reading on this play. I think Betts overcommitted on trying to get penetration to the quarterback, and
on this play.
Yeah, early on, like he went upfield and.
Oh yeah, he's over by then.
Well,
I mean, yeah.
I mean, it is as the end. It's his job to contain and not allow anything to come out here, right?
But if he didn't go that wide, he could have crashed back down.
Yeah, but it's tough because his job at this point is not necessarily to make the tackle; it's to make sure everything goes inside. So his number one priority is nothing gets past him.
Mm-hmm.
So even if he
crashed down, he's not going to get to that because Stanback is like.
But
there's too much humanity there.
You see this formation, right? Like Peters is behind Betts, and there's like nobody.
And then Peters gets taken out by his own. Oh no, there's a block there. Never mind. Okay, Peters had to get around that, and by then Stanback is by him.
Yeah.
Well, I guess you're always trying to limit for a 2-yard gain. I mean, Peters could have taken the more safe approaches and then try to meet him at the first yard marker. Yeah. But he tried to
Yeah, because
he went skinny versus fat, I guess.
Because, like, from a contained perspective, he did exactly what he's supposed to do. Because when you redirect everything inside, then you're not supposed to get big gains. It's when you get outside that you get big gains, right?
Yeah, not through the middle. Yeah, obviously there's.
So
he just cut back through that hole at the right time.
Yeah. So this is kudos to Stanback, and it's bad on us because this is not supposed to happen up the middle, right?
It's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
It's happened too many times in the last few games. Just this one was.
Yeah. But yeah, look at
Butler went up the middle quite a few times on us too, right?
I think he had one late. He just broke it.
Yeah.
And then that's when it was pretty. I think the game was kind of in hand for them, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
That game, I tried to
purge
quickly. Purge. Oh.
Yeah.
It's not good for my mental health to have those Hamilton highlights vivid in my mind.
Yeah.
Well, you used the word highlight. Wow, that's like.
I know.
Well, there were highlights for Hamilton fans.
Highlights for Hamilton fans, yeah. Okay. Nightmares.
So, last two plays I want to show. These are actually Montreal plays, but they were trick plays, and I don't know. I always love trick plays. So even though it's the opponent, I still want to show it anyway. This was the fake punt. Direct snap to Antwi, and he gets outside, and that's where you get big plays, right? When you get outside. So, yeah, direct snap. You mentioned earlier, Greg, you and Arthur were looking at the right side.
Yeah. The TSN camera angle had it from behind the lines. You could see Mackey and all the guys. They were pointing. I guess in our view here to the top of the screen.
Yeah, these guys.
I don't know if they were trying to block out, or make sure there's guys there, and then Montreal just took it to this huge side down here at the bottom of the screen, and they didn't even see it.
They had 4 guys on the top.
Yeah,
to cover 2 gunners.
Yeah, so I think they must have picked up. That's what the BC was doing. So it's a perfect time to run a run to the other side.
Yeah.
Because it's almost one-on-one. It is one-on-one. Yeah, they have one more guy.
Yeah, and there's a
because they made a
great
comment.
block
They
here.
went to Antwi because he was the opposite side, because then that allows the guy that would have got the direct snap to be a lead block.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the guy to Antwi's right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Is it what's the guy, Tuck? Is that the fullback?
Yeah. And he came in
comes down
and
and just seals it.
Yeah, look at this block here.
Mind you think
a
it's
key
holding?
block.
Nope, that was a good block.
Key block there.
It's 5 yards downfield. Oh yeah, 5 yards.
Key
He
block.
held him there, but
Yeah, that's a key block.
He
That's
was
from
inside. I'm giving Montreal all the credit in the world. This was a great play.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Drove me absolutely nuts, considering you and I were going fake. Watch the fake. Watch the fake. I guess they can't hear us through the TV. I gotta remember that.
yeah. And so that was that. And one more trick play by Montreal. This one here.
he threw his glove off
I know.
to get a
that's-
good grip.
That's
There's a good chunk of yards. That's Matt catching that ball too, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, so there's a good chunk of his 140 something yards.
yeah. But
BC 38 to inside the 15-yard line.
yeah. So as he's running back here, he just swipes his glove off his right hand there. Gets the ball and passes it. What was that play that we did? Was it Hollins who tried to
Yeah.
pass? And
I think he kept his glove on.
So
Can I ask why 92 peeled off of there?
which 92?
Is it 92 or 96? 92? He's right beside Josh Woods there.
BC or Montreal?
BC. Like, back it up. He's engaged with 64 right here. And he sees the guy with the ball. But then he said, and then he just runs away from him. Like, why didn't he go at him?
He's trying to get the
He's trying to get the angle. He thought this guy was coming
But
up.
look at the way the guy's. He's like this. I mean, okay, yeah, hindsight, and it's happening fast. But I'm
Yeah.
just, you know,
Most likely that he's not throwing the ball.
Yeah, he's
Right,
going for
like,
the angle.
Most likely he's running, right?
but then he's running into the block. Watch, like he just
Yeah,
runs
I get it.
into Josh Woods. It's like,
He is a rookie, right?
Yeah. And
well, then I'd have been happier with the rookie if they go for the guy with the ball and run past him. At
Well,
least I just like that looks like.
he knows that he can't outrun him. So if he was in a chase position, he'll never catch up. Right? He needs to get the angle. Right? Because
He's not going to get this.
Because the angle, it's still a tackle for loss.
Yeah.
I mean, no one usually the receiver doesn't end up just chucking it downfield. Right?
Yeah, that's right. He didn't expect it to be a pass.
He's got guys on the outside already. So anyway,
Yeah. Well, he doesn't know. He's an interior lineman, right? Interior defensive. Yeah, he's a defensive tackle. So anyway, beautiful. Hopefully we'll be able to do plays like that as well.
and hopefully we'll learn to defend against plays that, or keep our eyes open or our minds at least considering something like that
Yeah.
defensively.
Yeah.
But all in all, it was a win that they had to tough it through and got it through and actually cement a win. They weren't going away with it easy. Montreal went down swinging. I got to give them that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
I don't know if it goes as a Labor Day classic, but hey, I'll take it.
Close game.
All right. So it's time for Greg's Passion Corner. You all set, Greg?
I'm all set.
All right. Take it away.
Leo's Legion, here we are, Passion Corner. I missed you guys all last week, and I'm just so happy to be back. You know what? A win's a win, and there's a lot of props to go around today. And we're going to just kick it off with Mr. Ali B 85, Alexander Hollins. We had him targeted 8 times, making 5 catches for 88 yards and 2 touchdowns. And I got to give him prop for that concentration on that second touchdown. I mean, that's a DB that flashed right in front of him. Should have made the pick, but I mean, Hollins didn't even think he was there. Just made the catch and scored that touchdown, which, went a long way towards the complexion of the game. Second prop point has to go to another receiver. We were a little hard on him the last couple of games, but Justin McInnes, great game again. 4 of 5, 5 targets, 4 catches, but the big number, 35 yak yards, and that 3rd and 5 gamble clutch, secured the ball, dipped the shoulder, made that cornered run, and just got that yardage when needed. And now, you know what? Got to look at the D side. Our man, Sione Tuihema. Did I say that right? Tuihema? How many sacks did he have today? 6 tackles, 1 for loss, and 2 sacks. And he had that energy all game. He was in Fajardo's face, hurrying him, hitting him, tackling him, and sacking him. So it's just a great performance by Sione. Props to him. And you know what? We got some honorable mentions too. And I want to just honorable mention to, I guess, our defensive ends, our offensive tackles in Broxton and Perkins. Perkins, you had that tough game a couple weeks ago. It's done. It's purged. It's washed. But you know what? Lemon was a non-factor. And I know he lined up on your side. He lined up on Broxton's side. And he was a non-factor. And there are games, we've seen it. When Lemon's been a Lion, when Lemon's been on any other team, he can take over a game. Even if some say he's on that downside of his career, age-wise, whatever, he can take over a game, and you guys nullified him. And I just also want to make an honorable mention to the secondary. Much better game. Still some things to work on, but a much better game by you guys all around. Defensively, we love the complementary football, as they call it, between the secondary and the front 7. Just a great game all around, guys, and just really happy. So now go into this bye, get that rest you deserve, but come back ready to keep getting better. And just let's take this stretch run and win it out. I'm out.
Holland's was a game time decision. I'm glad he was obviously made a big impact to the game. So that was good of him to clutch up. I'm not sure what he had. I mean, we saw him do a sweep, like a pitch. So maybe it was something upper body. Not sure. But he definitely gutted it out, whatever he was going through.
Yeah.
The reporter did ask him. Interviews, anything was wrong. Verbally, he was just fine.
Yeah, the reporter did ask him, said something like, "Oh, you're a game time decision," and he kind of looked puzzled or something, but he kind of didn't answer either. So, not sure what that was. Yeah, but yeah, no, he had a great game.
Any honorable mentions from you guys? Did I leave anything out? I mean, the receivers had a great game. They made the plays this week.
I mean, you gotta mention Vernon Adams Jr. I mean, he had like 300 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions.
Nope.
That first, like Roland chronicled it. The first drive, it was an 8-yard pass, and then 2nd and 2, it got blown up, and then they punted. But it was the drive afterwards. I think Vernon's like, all right, enough's enough. Like he ran for half the yards.
Yeah.
And he ran decisively too. I loved. I loved that.
A lot of those runs were 2nd down. Like there was one at Rolling Chronicles. It was a 1st and 15. He got 10 yards.
Yeah.
A lot of those other runs were on 2nd down, and he gutted it out. Like some of them were 2nd and 10, 2nd and 8, and he got enough.
Yeah.
He put his body on the line. Of course, he's not 100% with that knee, but I think especially last week in the Passion Corner, called him out in a way, but more on the leadership core aspect, because I didn't see the energy, I didn't see the fight, but they had a lot of fight this week, and like his quarterback play was, I think he was an A. And then leadership-wise, the leaders stepped up.
Yeah.
No, you watch that pregame huddle that TSN puts on. He had that energy, but you could hear it in his voice. You could see it in the way he played. And I'm glad you brought that up, Arthur. He was the leader that we needed him today, or this week. Sorry, and it was fun to watch him just sling that ball around and to run and to not force anything.
Yeah.
Roland, you have an honorable, dishonorable?
Honorable mention? I guess my man, Matthew Betts. Just just like, he was all over the place. Even the sacks that he were not attributed to him, he was a major factor in a lot of those sacks. A lot of the hurries, he was a major factor. Motoring, like, we've noticed this since the beginning of the season, right? He's always running to the ball. I mean, that one where he had to run all the way to catch up with stand back, he ran out of steam, but that's to be expected, right? But,
he's a DN.
I know. But just the heart, right? The heart of not giving up. Like you're playing until the whistle's blown, right? That to me shows character.
Motor and heart, yes, absolutely.
Character. So looking ahead, we have a bye week, and then Ottawa comes to town. Thoughts and predictions.
Another third string quarterback.
That's true.
All I'm going to say. And it's a home game. And it's the first game after a bye. That energy level better be there, and the focus better be there, and the desire better be there. Because I can guarantee you Winnipeg is going to take this game they just lost personally, and they're going to give Saskatchewan everything Saskatchewan can handle in Winnipeg.
Yeah.
So we can't afford to lose any more ground, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Arthur?
So, okay, third string, so it's Mazzoli, he's out. And then second string was who? It was someone else, right?
Arbuckle.
Arbuckle. Okay, so Crum, yeah, okay, third string. I mean, he's looked really. I mean, he's good looking. He had really good moments, I think, in these games. So yeah, they're gonna have to tighten the gaps because he's gonna anytime anything breaks down, he's gonna run, and BC can be exploited. Yeah, I mean, BC needs to need the rest. I think I've always been saying the last 3 weeks they've been grinding. They've just been waiting for this bye. They needed to get to reset. And hopefully the coordinators can come up with some schemes to protect their weaknesses. I think their weaknesses are very evident right now. I think everyone can see what the lines are weak in. They need to shore that up or scheme a way to protect it. And I think Ottawa's going to be it's Ottawa coming home and playing us in BC Place, so that will be an interesting game.
It will be, yeah.
Everything seems to be in our favor, like it was with the Hamilton game. That's what I'm saying. Like, you know what? We've got momentum now. Take this extra week to prepare the way I'm sure Winnipeg did when they had that bye week with us coming in. And it's not a short week for Ottawa, is it, Roland?
I don't know. Let me see.
I mean, Ottawa is coming off a bye.
Oh, they're off a bye.
This week they have a bye.
Okay.
Next week they play Friday at home.
Okay,
and
so
then
it's a bit longer week.
Yeah, it's a long week.
And then they have 8 days.
Yeah,
but they have to travel. But yeah, they're at home on Friday versus Hamilton.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, it's going to be interesting. Crum can definitely kill us if the play breaks down and he improvises and scrambles out. Anything can happen, right? So even if we do our job right and we contain him and we don't allow any receivers to get open, he can still kill us. So I think that's the big thing that we need to watch out for. But if we can handle that, then I'm pretty confident that we can beat Ottawa. I think that's probably the X factor that Ottawa has right now, right?
We just need that D line to be as dominant as they were against Montreal. That D line has to be dominant. I think they had 10 D linemen on the roster, and they were rotating quite a bit. So that's why maybe before, and then of course they didn't get an injury to one of the D linemen, so they were able to use this rotation and keep them fresh, and that's why they had so much pressure. So can they do that again? Can they? Well, yeah, but then you're taking away from something else, right? You're taking away from another positional, like a backup. So what are you going to do? So it all depends. Hopefully people can get healthy. But yeah, and rest and just get away. And okay, there's, I think, 6-7 games left. for this year. They just have to come out strong and hopefully earn another bye for the first round of the playoffs. So that's what they're shooting for. I think they need it too.
Yeah.
Hurried containment. Contained hurryment? What do you think? That's the D-line's the D-line's vision or their goal is hurried containment. Don't necessarily have to sack Crum, but just rattle him that he thinks he can run and then contain him.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be running out of options.
Yeah. So
but Ottawa's also got Deontay Spencer as that running back who is shifty and he can take some contact as well. So we got to shore up. Definitely, like Arthur said, I'm 100% on your camp, Arthur. We got to shore up the rushing defense, whether it's the quarterback running or the running back. We have to fix that big time.
And I'm also a bit concerned with our secondary. They've been kind of getting exposed deep. Not sure why that is, and whether they're picking on TJ Lee or not. But it just seems like they're, ever since like Winnipeg exposed us deep, these other teams are exposing us deep. Yeah. And maybe in the beginning part of the year, the D line push and quarterback pressure kind of covered up what that secondary can be had, right? I mean, maybe these guys are on the front. We mentioned like early this season how well they tackled, how they engaged and dictated and closed the gap quickly. In the last 2 or 3 games, you've seen them back off. They're on the back foot versus on the front foot. If I use a soccer football of the football of the international variety analogy, their last few games are on the back foot. It's because they don't get beat deep. But if you're kind of crashing down and you're on your front foot, you're engaging the I'd say the short yardage receivers quicker and faster. We kind of got away. I'm thinking we're getting away from that. We're not as effective, and that was really evident in the Hamilton game. Wasn't as bad against Montreal, but Montreal, we did see some missed tackles. We did see some hope and pray launching of the DB trying to break someone, trying to tackle someone. So I think that can be improved as well.
Yeah. So
the good Lord gave you 2 arms. Use them.
So, any thoughts on scores, predictions, or if not scores, then just any prediction?
I mean, I got to see the injury list. Hopefully, they get some bodies back. I mean, I think Dom Rhymes makes a massive difference. Like, are they saving him for the bye? Are they going to give him some more time off? But getting him into the roster, becoming the number 3 target, I think there are some passes that maybe he makes that the other receivers are not.
So who do they take out if he comes in? McInnes?
It's McInnes. It will be probably the one.
Yeah.
But I think Rhymes is, he has more dynamic ability. And maybe some of the passes that Lucky's been giving, it goes to Rhymes. And Rhymes bigger, taller, would make those catches a bit easier. Maybe.
The head topper?
Yeah.
Mr. Head Topper. I mean, he was the number 2 receiver in terms of reception yards last year. So having him back in the lineup would give the offense a big jolt. I think, because then eventually they're going to key on Hollins. Yeah. Now Hollins is the number 2 receiver in reception yards in the league so far right now, currently. So, and Hatcher's number 4. So having someone who can be, say, a top 5 receiver in the league come in, that would be a massive advantage. And then of course Edwards Cooper at corner, and then we need these linebackers to get re-energized, because these teams are going to run it down our throats. We got to show that we can stop the run.
Yeah. Okay. But you haven't answered the question, Arthur. Predictions.
23-18. BC.
It's so hard. I mean, I think they win by 10 points.
10 points. Okay.
10 points.
Greg's
23-18. Fans, you heard it.
23-18. Oh man, I got another nail biter at home. Please.
No, I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold. But yeah, 23-18 and Leo's Legion out there. We've had some of you say you're coming on here to subscribe and put on an opinion. Show up, guys, please, and agree or disagree with us. We welcome it, big time. Welcome it. And continue to want to make this team relevant. Again, to support whatever Mr. Doman's doing for this team and this league. Come on out and support your Lions. We need some butts in those seats too.
Yes, absolutely. And
Roland, what's your prediction?
Predictions. So I'm not going to predict scores. I haven't been predicting scores. I've been predicting sacks. We got 5 sacks this week, so we know we can We can get back to form. Crum is a little bit more shifty.
And he's a bigger quarterback too. He's tall, not as thick as Dolagal, but he's tall.
Yeah. So
arm tackles aren't bringing this guy down.
Yeah. So I'm gonna say 4 sacks. Four sacks this game.
I would take 4 sacks, and I would take 16 hurries or whatever that statistic was that we had against one. I'll take hurries too, big time.
Yeah. All right. So next week is a bye, but we're gonna put together an episode for you guys. Just kind of thoughts on mid-season thoughts on the Lions, and just some other thoughts. We have no game to analyze, but we'll do that for next week. So as Greg said, like and subscribe. Let us know what you like, what you dislike, anything you agree with or disagree with. We'd love to hear from you.
Absolutely, please. With that session that Roland's talking about coming up, the episode on kind of a review of the season and what we're feeling, where you think the Lions stand right now, please put your opinions in before that episode comes on. We'd love to see your feedback and just help it fuel the episode.
Okay. Wonderful. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.